There is 0.0 doubt. NFT culture is here for the rest of my entire life.
You got your perspective. I just want to be happy. Don't you want to be happy?
So happy to be here, Jacob. And hi, everybody who's watching. I said this once in 2009 at a social media conference. If you are watching this right now, for the majority of people, a lot of this is old news, and this has probably been a 4 or 5 year thing. But let there be no confusion. You are disproportionately ahead of the game, and I hope there's a lot of happiness and challenges and interest with that. And so I'm very honored to be here, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's a good place to start. Would love to kind of maybe learn a little bit more about sort of, how long you've been thinking about the space. I know you've been talking a lot about NFTs recently on your podcast, on YouTube and everything. I mean, when was your interest peaked? Like, when did you kind of take a look?
The journey is in 2016, a gentleman by the name of Aaron Battalion, and a tremendous technologist, CTO of Living Social, and just somebody I'd really admire, of being an incredible nerd, AKA really technically sound, but intuitive consumer behavior, which is obviously where I live. And so we would always have these jam sessions at South by Southwest. And I bought Bitcoin in 14, and this was 16 South by, and he started explaining Ethereum to me. And my brain went into, oh, this is interesting. This is platform, not currency. And I'm like, I'm not a financier. Like, I, to this day, I'm all about NFT life, and all my friends that want me to get excited about currencies, I get it. And I'm like, to me, it's not like Doge this or Bitcoin this or altcoin to the moon that. Like, it's just not as interesting to me. The same reason I don't buy a lot of currencies or trade or even stocks on the public market. Whereas, t-shirts and garage sailing and sports car, so, and then there's the things that will go into deeper beyond the art and collectibles of NFT life, that I think the smart contract to access and, touching and feeling things and experiences you want. So that access and part of the smart contract, so that excite me. So anyway, I bought a bunch of Ethereum in 16, in the same way that I'm looking at VR today, which is, it's looming, but it's not prime time for every person in Kansas. That's my game. I'm listening and watching, and I always hate when I enter a new space at this point in my career, because I have the baggage of my career. And so I've been trying to be very thoughtful about that, because I get upset when I do something, and I'm so appreciative. I'm humbled that people, even this beautiful intro, Kartik, I understand that I've done nice and well and have done, but I always think I'm only as good as my new at bat. And if I come into this space and I'm a clown and and I'm wrong, it erases everything I've ever done. You're only as good as your next day, right? So I've come in somewhere around February, March, April, COVID time. I'm like, wait a minute. That NFT thing that I've kind of really far away, I know what CryptoKitties are. I remember looking at that carefully. This is starting to happen a little bit. And then I had a conversation with Roham from Dapper and Top Shot, and I'm like, huh. And I was in the heat of my sports card thing, physical.
Right.
That's interesting. And then the fall came, and all this time, what really fucked me up was COVID. I'm a lot of times people forget, for all my loud mouth tactics and putting out tons of content, I'm the active CEO of a 1,300 person global company that and it's client service. It's not even like Tech 1,300, which is a hell of a lot easier to manage. You're just fucking getting bombarded by people. So, navigating, being the captain of really rocky waters during COVID and then I decided with Michael Rubin from Fanatics to do the All-In Challenge, and we raised $60 million, to help people that were hungry during COVID. So I had 0.0 minutes, March to August, to what I wanted to do, which was why is my spidey senses? Then the fall came, we navigated all that trauma. And I actually saw offense for VaynerX for 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So then I got suckered again into like putting in extra hours towards, wait a minute, I could set up a nice year for us. That's probably a good idea. Then it was late December. I feel like I've got that all accomplished. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to really dig in now. And I started doing real homework, and I started having some, friends, that I started kind of DMing quietly some friends. Kevin Rose was instrumental, got into the founder of dig.com, truly one of the icons of Web 2.0. Him and I spent a ton of time talking about it. He was instrumental in like, check out Flamingo, check out this. I'm going to introduce you to Matt from CryptoPunk. I'm like, okay, like it just started feeling 2005 to me. Then, I put out a little piece of content or two, which allowed me with my, awareness these days to make some new friends. Jeff Holmberg, I just have to give him a shout out, kid that I spent a lot of times talking about CryptoPunks and hash masks with. And I'm a learner. Totally. I'm a learner from the bottom up. I can't learn from like a tech backwards place. I have to go from what are humans doing, and then I go backwards up. I'll learn about level 2 issues by understanding, like trying to buy something and being like, what the fuck's this gas shit? Like that's how I learn.
Yep.
And I'm also, what my big advantage is I understand people cold. That's my strength. And so, the last 4 months have been 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, canceling important shit and taking another thing. You and I met that way. Like I'm just taking meetings. Yeah. I'm just trying to be part of the community. I got excited. I started talking. Then I was like, shit, I have to start talking way more about what this moment really is, which is the technology's forever, Internet 2000. Some of the stocks, the projects are incredibly overpriced, and there will be absolutely, in this world's terms, ICO crashing culture. Totally. And so I've been trying to put that content out there so people are being thoughtful. I've been learning a lot more about wrapping and forking and burning, and I've really enjoyed it. And so I come to this talk, incredibly humble and knowing I'm in the middle of my journey. On the consumer side, like what people are going to do, I have a flag of conviction that is as large as anything, which is NFT culture is here for the rest of my entire life. There is 0.0 doubt. I've only felt like this twice in my life. 1994, when I heard the internet for the first time, that. And I'm like, yep. In a day, I'm like, this is going to change my life. And sure enough, I'm not building 500 liquor stores for my dad anymore. I'm going to do this winelibrary.com thing. And then Friendster, MySpace, it was a little bit more of a slow burn, but it was definitely when Eric Kastner, my lead developer at winelibrary.com, started making me read TechCrunch. And I was like, okay. And boom, YouTube, he showed me, actually, that's not true. There was a single moment. Eric shows me YouTube and he goes, remember 4 years ago when you were like, can I stream wine videos on our website? And I told you it was $8 trillion and only 2 people would watch. And you were like, no. I'm like, yes. He's like, well, now you can do it for free on this thing. And in February, that was in 2005. And then in February 2006, I started Wine Library TV, which really changed my life because that's what made me use Twitter and Facebook to promote that show. And then I became a practitioner. The only other time I felt that way was somewhere here in January, really only 2 months ago, when I did enough homework of like, it went from spidey senses to my life is going to change. And that's what I fully believe as I sit here. I don't know. Now, I don't know. It took me a decade to learn a lot of tech to talk the way I talk today about Web 2.0, social, the internet. I still have plenty to learn about blockchain. I'm sure I'll say things in the wrong terminologies and things of that nature. Those things are irrelevant to me, meaning I have the humility to be corrected and I love everybody in the community. I have the patience to learn some of the real core things I'll need to I always like to be just dangerous enough so I'm not an idiot. But where I spend 100% of my time and 110% of my time is why are people going to do this? How is this going to affect somebody who's selling their home? Can they put this on the ledger and like make a vig every time this home's sold in the beginning? How am I going to launch my book? Wait a minute, music artists can do this. Wait a minute, who was the first Provenance? I understand that completely. That's everything. That's social currency. Why do people wear gold watches? Same reason they're going to buy this. Does the blue check mean anything on Instagram? It sure does. Of course. Can I take a picture and it's a JPEG? Who gives a fuck? You don't actually own it. And in 13 years, everyone's going to actually look to see who owns. Like, that's where I play my game.
Got it. Totally. Yeah. I mean, I think it's been amazing to see you use your platform in, I think, a really positive way and kind of bring people into this fold and kind of the mindworm that all of us, I think, have been thinking about over the last couple of years. And yeah, I think, you do this in such a genuine way, comes across really well. So really appreciate you helping out there.
Jacob, if everybody really knew me and were inside my chemicals, if they understood you, who you are in this space, and I consider like this authentic crew, to me, people that were really active, November 1st, 2020 back are really part of a crew that's different than, let's say, February 1st, 2021, right? And totally. I've lived that twice in my life. That was when I decided to learn what the internet was at all. And boy, were those tech nerds. And then I met them again in 2005. They were just different. That early, people don't understand what Silicon Valley looked like in 3, 4, 5, 6. Like it was so different than the status that it has now. And I think I see a lot of those characters again in this world. Now, the internet is so much more mature and accepted mainstream that the juxtaposition of culture, pop culture, fame, non-fame, like it's different, but it's still the same, which is much like a band that goes on to become Pearl Jam. That early crew feels a relationship to the technology and the movement that must be respected by people like me that come along. And that is my number one KPI. You saying that to me is much more important to me than me doing business well with this platform. So thank you for saying that.
No, I appreciate it. I mean, you said you kind of come to this with a little bit of baggage, but I mean, I want to talk about kind of, you've had decades of experience of trading cards, right? Like sports cards and that kind of thing. And, collectibles is one of those pieces on the NFT world that, is really coming into position right now. I mean, Top Shot is huge. You talked about Rohan, who's talking later in the summit today about Top Shot and Dapper in general. I guess kind of curious about sort of what are your thoughts about the future of the collectible piece and how do you see that sort of coming onto chain and beyond just Top Shots right now?
And by the way, to your point, I use baggage as a slang term to an incredible gift that I'm given, which is I have notoriety and respect. And of course that comes along with razzing and people think I'm and I get that. But for the most part, what I mean by that is I can't do what I did in 2005, which was go to Six Apart's blog and ask a question or go on, or in 2006, 7 being on Twitter. Like I didn't have the clout, reputation, personal brand, whatever one wants to call it. And what I mean by that is when I say baggage, I use it as, hey, I think too many people are coming into the space acting like tough guys and tough gals, like they know shit. And I'm trying to come in like, hey, I do have conviction of a couple of things I see, I'm not trying to come in here like there's a million people on Twitter that are OGs that can run circles around me on the understanding of the technology of blockchain, and crypto and things of that nature. Where I feel incredibly confident is what people are going to do. And that's why I'll go to this part. Let me go to a place on collectibles that I have not heard people talk about. I have a lot of experience in that. Thank you. I also have a lot of experience in something else that a lot of people know me for, which is garage sailing.
Right.
And I actually believe that the garage sailing part of me has more insight than even the sports card version of me. And let me explain. When I go garage sailing, I buy things based on knowing that people have nostalgia and pop culture in their blood. And so when I buy a New York City bus pass that has the World Trade Center picture on it, I know there's no inherent real massive value. Or when I buy Huckleberry Hound in a stuffed animal from Knickerbocker, the stuffed animal toy company, for $3, without even looking at it on eBay, I already know that's $40, $50. Now, let me tell you why that story is important. There's going to be, in the advancements, I'm going a little further and beyond collectibles. What I believe is going to happen, I'm sure, given the nature of where we are in the life cycle of NFTs and who's in this conference, outside of the people that just came in from my tweet that are probably going through learning, there's a lot of people here that I think most of the audience here could be giving the talk. That's just what happens in the beginning, which I respect tremendously. I think everybody knows and is probably frustrated when everyone's so fixated just on collectibles and art when we're talking about, and by the way, I felt this with e-commerce and social media. People get fixated on the first thing that makes even any level of sense to them. And then one of those things become the conversation. I mean, I remember when people talked about the internet in 95, 96, only from the lens of browsers and search engines.
Yep.
Like there wasn't any conversation around like e-commerce and, so because a lot of the early tech people weren't merchants like I was. So for me, the reason I bring up the garage sale thing is the following. I'll use myself as an example. I'm going to use a concert. I'm going to use Coachella. Coachella has bracelets, physical bracelets. Mm-hmm. There's nobody here watching this right now that's not confused that in 15, 12, 7, 6, 3 years, that becomes a token. And it works, and I can't wait to see like token readers and like there's so much fun innovation coming, right?
For sure.
Smart contracts that check off that you use it. Like it's going to be so cool, right? What I know though, as garage sale Gary, is 7 years later, somebody's going to buy the first. If it goes on, that festival becomes Coachella.
Right.
Somebody's going to buy that token. The same way I would buy the bracelet at a garage sale for 25 cents and sell it on eBay for $19. I know that tokens that are really not collectibles and arts, but representations of smart contracts are going to have a secondary market at a scale that most people haven't made the chess move connections on. And that is going to be incredible because that is going to lead to incredible behavior at the IP level to try to do thoughtfulness for the audience to create that economic aspect. The economic aspect of that is going to actually force leagues, musicians, festivals, things to actually care more about their customers. Right now, we're in the golden era, Jacob, of the people launching projects that really don't give a fuck about their audience at all. It's a fast money grab. I'm going to draw something, a picture of me or fucking something that represents me. I'm going to mint 10,000 of them. And because right now, and they're going to make some real money. I mean, we've seen some athletes and celebrities make real money. What I know is going to happen on the other side is the people that are holding the bag of that collectible have overpaid so much, no different than pets.com or etoys.com as a stock. That doesn't mean NFTs are not going to be the game-changing thing of this generation. It just means that project is not. And what you're seeing is short-term transactional behavior right now of people land grabbing for quick bags. But what they're actually going to do is hurt their brand because there's going to be some fans on the other side that are sad that they paid $3,000 for ownership of an NFT. But now the market says it's $17, AKA Beanie Babies, right? So I'm worried about that for everybody in this cycle of that. The person that's buying it and gets held with the bag, but I'm actually worried about it equally for, they deserve it because they weren't thoughtful, but it doesn't mean I don't have compassion to somebody who doesn't really, there's some people, because I've talked to a bunch of celebrities, IP, they don't even realize they're doing bad things for their audience. Mm-hmm. They're delusional. They don't understand supply and demand and the moment we're in. So they probably, a lot of them, I could tell, I've had the combos, they actually think they're going to do well. Like, oh, someone's going to pay $88,000 for this, and one day it's going to be worth $2 million. I'm like, first of all, your ego is insane. Second of all, you're very much misunderstanding what's about to happen, which is the tokenization of everything. Do you know how much supply that is? It's no different than influencers, Jacob, right? Influencer marketing, I was right in 2009 when I wrote Crush It. And you have the Logan Pauls and the Charlie D'Amelios, but there are tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and millions of people making $50,000 to $200,000 a year being an influencer instead of an accountant or a gardener and loving life. That's going to happen with NFT. That's going to happen with artists. That's going to happen in a lot of places. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of thoughtfulness that needs to come to the market. Here's my thoughts. It is the game changer for collectibles, arts, and pretty much everything in the world. There will be incredible layers of bubbles and no different. It's like the stock market was invented, and there'll be plenty of IBMs and GEs and Amazons, and there'll be plenty of Enrons. I mean, there will be
Pets.com.
Right? I think we all know. Look, personal brands are going to do things. I'll give you an example. This is maybe an extreme example, but if NFTs have been around for 60 years, somebody might have done incredibly well with O.J. Simpson investing when he was a high school football player and he put out his NFTs and they were the rookie cards. And
right.
You know, in 1991, you look like a genius. You bought something for $3. It's now $7 trillion. And then boom, a moment happens. And like, there's a lot of things that are going to happen with these NFTs, but I think the macro is incredible. And I think when you have people like, I'm glad Roham's coming, you know, what he built with Dapper and Flow and Top Shot, incredible. You know, I think he'll add a lot to that conversation. But my big thing is that we also are now at a place where I, as a 45-year-old man, would rather wear cool sneakers, have comic books that are graded to 10, own video games still in the box graded, sports cards, wear hoodies, wear t-shirts. Like the culture is becoming more collectible, nerd, fun. Like the investment portfolio of a 45-year-old man with my wealth 20 years ago was real estate and stocks.
Very boring.
I have more in sports cards, comic books, toys, NFTs. That I think is not going to stop. And I think that's going to lead to a lot more demand than people are anticipating.
Very cool. Yeah, I think that totally makes sense. I mean, just the number of assets that people are looking at every day is it's an order of magnitude more than it was even like 10 years ago, right? And I think there's no way that's going to stop.
It's not going to stop, and people enjoy it now. I enjoy
absolutely
my CryptoPunk more than my Tesla stock. I enjoy my Super Mario Brothers in mint condition more than I enjoy my part ownership with my dad in the real estate at Wine Library. I enjoy, and that
totally
that part, the mixing of experiences and NFT smart contracts is going to be game changing.
Absolutely. Well, maybe a good place to go here. I mean, this is going to be a hackathon, right? We're going to have 600 people building stuff all weekend, and hopefully, 150 or so projects by Sunday. What do you think is missing from the ecosystem right now, or
I'll give you
what do you think? What do you want to see built? Right? Like, what do you?
First, I want everybody who does something cool to DM me at Garyvee on Twitter because I want to see it.
Perfect.
I want to see real life readers. I want to be able to create NFTs that create hall passes in real life. And I want to be able to read your wallet physically like a scanner at a venue. And then it marks off the ledger that's been used. Like I want that. Yep. I know there's the roadblocks right now for that. Like, so I'm not naive enough, but like, if you're talking about what's missing, that's definitely coming. That.
Totally.
I'm very fascinated about the royalties changing based on you paying a different price. Mm-hmm. Just throwing out some random shit right now to get some thinking going.
This is good.
Yeah, I just think like when you buy something, could you lower its royalty by paying more for it up front? Like that. I think that's kind of cool. The physical, I like what the artifacts people are doing. I think I'm a big both and guy. I think there's this war right now of or, like, no, like the art, like I'm going to still buy this shit and I'm going to buy a ton of so anybody who can capture things that create an ecosystem for, and let me throw an old world problem at it. Can somebody create the operating system for warehouses that can take on all the physical versions of the digital in a world where a lot of people want to stay anonymous and don't even want to take ownership of the physical? I'm thinking about projects and custodials. Thank you. That's interesting to me. That's like a boring tech operating system that can turn old warehouses into something very valuable. That might be fun. And, I've got a big one. I need this one. I want somebody to create the communication layer. I want to be like, I'm going to launch a project. I want to be able to talk every day to my 4,000 people in a DeFi way, in a decentralized way, and not have to force them into a Discord or something. Like I want to be able to say right this second, I launched a project. I want to say hello to somebody. So in wallet communication structure, I think is huge.
Like on the spot communities. Basically,
I want to just basically be like, yo, thank you again for supporting my thing. Or all of you right now, here's a link. Like I want to support my thing, and a lot of good things are happening. Totally. I want to be able to communicate to them. That's huge for me, actually. That one's actually, that's my kill. That to me is how you start the social networks, the Reddits, the Discords of the world in this game. Let me talk to the people that bought my shit.
Yeah, it's amazing to see the communities that have formed around CryptoPunks or Hashmax or
yes,
everything.
But that's because Discord link on the site, dude, you get it?
Yeah.
I'm talking.
But it could just happen.
Yeah, because don't forget, 4 years later, I'm not following where these transactions have gone. I might get a little money, and I know what's happening, but I don't know that Jacob sold it to Kartik. And when I want to do something for the people that own my shit right now, I want Kartik there, not Jacob because he went into my Discord but no longer owns it. So that to me is huge.
Totally. Now I can see that.
This
all right, folks.
I have to go. Yeah, I know what you're. Thank you. You're being so
yeah.
sweet
No,
to me
no,
because I
I
have a hard stop at 1:30. But I just looked. I'm like, fuck. By the way, anybody who's watching this, please hit me up on Twitter to just say hello. I'm. The word I would use is desperate and honored to be a tiny piece of this community and want to make more friends and would love to get anybody's thoughts on anything they heard. And I definitely want to see if Kartik thought I said anything interesting before I leave.
You want to jump in, Kartik?
No, I want to say I think the coolest part of this is that I think we're finally getting to the piece where people are thinking about it from what the interaction looks like for the end consumer of that content, whatever that may be, whether that's art or a way to integrate into a community. And I think this is kind of the right way to think about it, because what you're talking about is how do we actually make this valuable for the end user? It doesn't matter how the tech is set up.
Correct.
That's what gets to the millions and millions.
Kartik, that's why I'm going to win, just so you know. Not because I came in with because what made quote unquote Garyvee was I was son of a liquor store owner with a 40-person watching YouTube show. And once I understood social, immediately I just did what I did in real life, which is if I can bring more value to them than I ask for in return, and that is going to be the winning formula in the NFT, because we're talking about economies and communities here. The end.
At scale. And that's
scale. I mean, that's why I'm probably getting, you see the goosebumps?
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Isn't that cool? No, but really, I literally called my mom and said, NFT is the manifestation of my life's work. And I'm in the prime of my life to take advantage and to contribute to it. Do you know what that feels like to me? Like, to your point, you know how thoughtfully serious I was taking the words that came out of my mouth in the last 30 minutes? We're still early. I have this place in the ecosystem, a different ecosystem, Web 2, not this Web 3 thing, but it still carries. And if I can deliver 30 minutes of thoughtfulness here, it can be meaningful. And I'm very honored by that.
That is, I mean, you love the no bullshit opinion on everything and the right kind of direct view on this. And I think I'm just checking out the chat here. There's a lot of comments on people just agreeing with a lot of things you've said and just
that's
up.
That means a lot to me from this community. Please hit me up on Twitter, folks, because I have meetings and I want to see some things. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
So much. Thanks so much, Gary.
Cheers.
Take care.
YouTube watcher, what's up? It's Garyvee. First of all, thank you so much. I hope you're doing super well during these times. I also want to ask you, please subscribe, because my commitment and exploration of YouTube is about to explode. Stories, polls, more content, more engagement, more surprise and delight. This is the time to subscribe. I hope you consider it, and I hope I see you soon.